There we go. We're back. Okay. So the microphone is working. That is a short the daily resistance there. That's a textbook. That's a textbook pattern. That's one of my most go-to patterns for shorting small caps. And that is a pattern that is short the daily resistance if I were going to look at. And if I were going to go to SLNO, what pattern is that? The first red day short pattern right here. And I have multiple examples. That's a first red day short pattern. This is the short the daily resistance. And then you have other ones. Buy daily break low floater with news. That is probably that is parabolic. Which one? Pre-market new high buy. That is another pattern right there. You can see so that this pattern here is a pre-market BNOX. That's a pre-market buy. You buy that thing on the way up. And I know some traders that made 22,000 on these types of movers, 22,000, and he's piggybacking that idea, making 22,000 in like I don't know in like a couple of hours, which is ridiculous. Now to think of it, do you have a playbook? Do you even have a playbook? There you go. There you go. You have day two continuation. This is another pattern. You see one pattern, two patterns, three patterns, and I'm going to show you day two continuation because this pattern happened, I think, on Friday. Before we're going to look at where is the Friday mover. Friday mover, give me a minute because I have to pull up the Friday mover. Friday mover was this I think this one was it. Hold on. 1 second. I think is this one it? Is this one it? No, that's not it. Let me get the Friday mover. I'll show you which was Friday mover. I have to look it up. Hold on 1 second. It was the top gainer of let me see because it's loading. So this is kind of like my playbook, and this is why I have it set up. It's sections as you log into my website. Hold on, Thinkorswim is just loading up there, and I'm gonna really show you like day two continuation. That is a pattern that is right there. Hold on, that I didn't trade. I think that the stock was, if I go on FinViz, the stock was FEMI. FEMI was a day two continuation. That is a day two continuation. Look at FEMI. There is FEMI. You can see so that we pushed over 150 there, and then day two, we were on. Let me see, it's loading right now. Okay, so it's loading. 1 second. So if you can see here that FEMI was a day two continuation. What does that mean? That means it broke yesterday's high of 180 right around there, which I did not trade. That is a setup. That is a setup worth trading. You can see so here. Some of my favorite setups are shorting the day. Day two continuation. This FEMI on Friday, the top mover of the day, is day two continuation. And you can see so that the obvious place to buy, if you were gonna see that it broke 180, and at 180 that was your buy. 180, 180, 180, and after 180, I mean we hit, I mean three something. So you could have doubled your account amazingly. I'm not saying trading is this easy, but FEMI on Friday was very much easy to short. Like let's look at some other patterns. 52-week breakout buy, first green day bounce pattern. I mean, this is a nice pattern over here. I'm not sure if I have. I mean, if I look into the notes, I'm not sure if I can find my notes here of first green day bounce pattern. But if I look in my notes, strategy review, first green day bounce pattern. If I go, it's similar to this first Green Day bounce pattern. Let's go look over here. You can see so that's not a good. That's the. Let me see which one is it. That's not a good pattern. Let me see. Strategy review, first green day bounce. That is a first. That is somewhat of a first green day bounce. That is. It's not his first green day bounce. One second. Let me give you a nice example. That's a first green day bounce. That's a first green day bounce. Let's see if I can find it. Let's see. First green day bounce pattern. There it is. It's loading. It breaks yesterday. There we go. Let me see. SLNA. Nope. You gotta go through the. There we go. That's probably one of them. First green day bounce. And now it's having trouble trying to upload it and trying to load it. There we go. That is a first green day bounce. So you can see that it broke yesterday's high. Broke yesterday's high of whatever that number is. I don't know what that number is. It's about, I don't know, let's call it $3. From $3, we spike up to $4. That is a pattern I take. That is a first green day bounce pattern. So that is a playbook. So first, my favorite patterns right now are first red day short, first green day bounce, day two continuation, pre-market. This is the reason I bought. The reason I show up each morning is that I see a stock on my scanner in a pre-market, and I pretty much short it. I pretty much buy it. Parabolic short is more advanced. Parabolic low flow to buy alert. There's a gap up short. That's a good one. Gap up short. Gap up short is this one. Actually, to tell you the truth, gap and go setups. I mean, these are kind of like my bread and butter. They first green day bounce, my number one pattern. First red day short, short the daily resistance, pre-market new high alert. I mean, we haven't been in such a crazy market. But let me just go through like what are the setups that I did trade. I did not trade outside my niche. That's kind of like what I'm trying to get you to see. I did not trade outside my niche. OPGN. Most of what I traded this week, I traded this downtrend on some very under 50-cent stock. Seems like that is a downtrend on some under 10 under 10 to $1 stocks that I traded so far. There's so many things that you can do with BNOX. You can do gap up short. You can do pre-market buy with BNOX is a pre-market buy, short the daily resistance, a gap up short. All these things are are you gotta have a playbook. If you do not have a playbook, you should not be trading. All day fade short. I mean, these are some of my favorites. Like these are kind of like what I traded so far. We did not have any gap and goes. Uh, you need to have a playbook. If you don't have a playbook, you shouldn't be trading. Um, my this all day fade short. I mean, I can count them on my fingers. My favorite ones: day two continuation, first green day short, first green day bounce, first red day short, shorting the daily resistance, buying stocks in the pre-market, buying the downtrend break. That is probably one of them that's worth mentioning. Buying the downtrend break of stocks, gap and go, gap up short, and the majority of them, like half of them are shorts and half of them are longs. And sadly, the way the market happens is usually, I mean, these companies, we trade small cap companies, and these companies are very small. And what they do is these companies release news, and usually it's in the morning, like it's in BNOX, and sometimes in the middle of the day, and sometimes it's in the afternoon. And but most of the time, 80% of them, the news that they get released on is between 7, 8 o'clock, and they pretty much run till about 9:30 and maybe into the midday. But most of the 80% of them, the reason why is that you have to be up at 7 o'clock. A lot of professional traders are up at 7 o'clock in the morning, and they trade because that's when these small cap companies release news, and that's where they buy their own stock or they run it up on air, and then when the market opens, they sell their warrants, they sell their they have their offerings, they have their they have their I don't know shelves, they have their textbook resistance. Um, you have to be up in the pre-market, and most of them are that's where you gotta buy. I don't have that many buy setups because all my buy setups happen. What is it called? We had this mover here in the middle of the day, which was what is it called? This mover, which was you can see, so DMK, that is the buy the daily resistance, and you pretty much come in and you see a stock going up, especially on some strong news, and you see the resistance is like 70 here. You see where the next resistance is and the next resistance is, and try to position yourself to buy it and then sell into the next resistance or sell half in the next resistance, not sell all, which I did sell all, because you need to have a playbook. A playbook is important, and if you don't have a playbook, what are you doing in the market? You're just gambling. You're just gambling. And if you don't have a scanner, I mean, how are you supposed to? I've had a couple of individuals send me an email that you know why I'm charging money and why this should be a free Discord room. I mean, these scans were built by me during the hottest times of the year, and these scans, I worked on these scans for like 4 years, and at least, and you can input these scans and the settings for the trade ideas. You can have the exact setup I have. So that's not going to be free. And plus, you can go to a free Discord page, but they don't have the scans and the settings for trade ideas. And they don't have people that post every single day and they teach you a strategy every day. It's very hard to teach and it's very hard to trade and it's very hard to teach while you trade. Those are three different things. You can argue the fact that you can go and they're not that good. You could argue the fact that you can go to a very free Discord room and you'll get that. And then you will probably lose all your money, and then you're going to have to come in and going to have to unlearn what you have learned because you're not doing it the right way. You can go in there and start gambling and start putting in $100, $200, but I wouldn't trust anybody that hasn't shown like a track record of being here for a prolonged period of time and being profitable. It's hard to teach and it's hard to live stream, and it's hard to tell you exactly how to think during those time. I mean, if you go to free route, it's going to take you longer. If you go to finding the setups and finding individuals that look for predictable, low risk, high reward setups, you're going to sign up to my site. So it's just a matter of who you're going to align yourself with, the people that is free, or the people that actually posts valuable content each and every day. So these are kind of like my favorite setups, I would have to say. ABCD pattern, not really. You know, I mean, most of my buys happened in the pre-market. I mean, how many times have you seen a gap and go setup? I mean, we have been in a pretty slow bear market. I mean, not a lot of times stocks have been gapping up like 30, 40% and just going straight up. We have not seen that entire that market so far. Mostly what we've seen in the last year is they've been gapping up 30, 50% and they've just been slowly bleeding off, and that's kind of, and we had one or two movers, but now we're more of a bullish market and we'll have more opportunities. But these are kind of like my setups that happened here throughout the week. So we had Monday, small trade DMK, which ran hugely. We had this ticker that pretty much had positive pattern news. made some money. You have SPRC, which I bought the downtrend break and sold it. And then I had a first red day short in SLNO. And pretty much I actually shorted BNOX right around there before we broke that downtrend, and I covered. I made a 20% profit here. I actually live stream. I actually posted in the chat room how this is a nice all day short. And I know a lot of people lost money because they tried to buy BNOX. BNOX is, once you see a stock gapping up 700%, it's not likely going to ever go back up there. How many 700% stocks have you seen that kept going another 1500%? It's very unlikely that this is going to happen. So I've seen a lot of people try to buy this VWAP bounce or whatever, and they got smoked. So I had the right idea to go short. I had the right idea to short it. And sadly, you have to have your own scans to scan for this, because no trader, some traders might get sick. Some traders, you cannot, rely, because this move of BNOX happens, once every, how many times have you seen a 750% gainer? They happen once every 3 to 4 months, and this could make your year if you wake up in the right day at the right time with the right size and trade it the right way. You could take advantage of a stock going from 2 to 7 or 8 in the pre-market and then short it on the way down. You can make your whole year here. Sadly, I was pretty sick. Actually, the time I woke up was around 8, and it's just the way the cookie crumbles. And I traded some under 50-cent stock, made some money, and actually my best trade was on OPGN Friday, that I was live streaming, and that I bought this downtrend break around 47. I sold it for a quick gain, and then on Friday there was another mover, FEMI, that pretty much squeezed the whole entire stock market and went up, I don't know, 1,000%. And that's a day two continuation. That is a setup from the playbook. Anyway, so I hope I answered everybody's questions. I'm actually gonna go a bit and read some comments on my YouTube. Is if anybody's out there live streaming and listening to what I had to say. But mostly that's kind of like how this we have 2 likes, 1 like, 2 people watching. Everybody's just chilling out there. But that is my week, and we are running a sale right now. For the pretty much the first month, if you were gonna click over here, the sale expires. Actually, I'm gonna give it another couple of hours, and probably take this off tomorrow. And then we're running a scan or a sale on the scan settings. You can pick it up over here, but that is what you should be doing to get, if you're serious. I mean, if you're just gonna be, if you're not serious, that's fine. Join the free Discord room. But when you're serious about getting your playbook together and only trading the playbook with good risk management, and consistently being profit without being without knowing, you have to have a playbook. If you don't have a playbook in the small cap market, you're just you're just a reindeer in the headlights. You're just gonna get run over. It's just a matter of time until you get run over. So what is your playbook, and what are you doing that you're not pulling in money? Other than that, I'm gonna finish up the day. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and make sure you comment down below what you think of it. And hopefully you like my new setup. I actually raised this monitor over here so I can be live streaming in the morning, so I can see a little bit the market better. But have a playbook. Don't be cheap, and listen to the playbook that I have for you, that I've seen in the past I don't know, 3 years, and get yourself some scanners, because the free Discord room is just gonna spam you out some tickers. You're gonna buy them. You're gonna get some, you're going to create some, volume for them, and they're potentially going to just sell into your, volume that you believe that this is the next Google and Microsoft. That's kind of like how I see it. On that, peace out, everybody, and see you all later.